Good morning. Thanks for tuning into the Kila Chari Torah Halacha Minute for Monday, November 30th. We're talking about the mitzvahs and customs of Hanukkah. So in terms of lighting the menorah, Kitzur Shulchan Aruch writes all kinds of oil are valid for Hanukkah lights. Mitzvah min hamuvchar, you want to do it the nicest way possible. Use olive oil, just like they used in the temple in those days. If not, next best thing is any kind of fuel that gives a bright, clear flame. Wax candles, paraffin candles, beeswax candles, which produce a clear light. You shouldn't use two candles braided together because that is called a torch in halacha. If it has multiple wicks, it's a torch, not a light. Rather, each light should burn by itself. You should not make the candles from wax that comes from houses of idol worship. That is an unpleasant thing for us. All kinds of wicks are valid for the Hanukkah lights, and the mitzvah done to its choicest degree is to use cotton wicks. You don't have to take new ones each night, but you can light the old ones until they are used up. This story of Hanukkah and the sugya, actually, the Talmudic conversation called Mai Hanukkah, what is Hanukkah, is actually found in the second chapter of Tractate Shabbat, which we're going to be starting one of these days with our Essential Talmud study group. The second chapter is called Bameh Madlikin, with what are we allowed to light? Second chapter, and we do recite that Mishnah usually when we're in Shul on Friday nights, and that's where it gets in from the conversation about what can you light the Shabbos lights with. It gets into a conversation about lighting the menorah. Okay, if you light a menorah made out of earthenware, made of clay, I guess, after you light it one night, it deteriorates, and if you go to light it the second night, it's a little bit gross. You have the burned up oil in there. Maybe it smoked or discolored. You have the leftover wick. Not so nice. Best thing to do, best practice, is to have a metal menorah. If you can afford it, to buy a silver menorah as a hidur mitzvah, as a way of beautifying the mitzvah. But of course, people use from brass and all kinds of other things. People do get fairly inventive, fairly creative with their menorahs, so we have some license with this. It's widespread custom in our regions to follow the practice of the most scrupulously observant, according to the Talmud's explanation, whereby each member of the family kindles one night on the first night, two lights on the second night, and keeps adding until the eighth night when you light 8 nights. The Talmud, if you take a look in that sugya we mentioned before of Mai Chanukah, which is in the chapter Bameh Madlikin, says that the mitzvah of Hanukkah is to light a candle for the house. So you light one candle, you could make the bracha, you could do that each night, and that's it. I personally don't know anybody who lights one candle each 8 nights of Hanukkah. Everybody that I know lights one candle on the first night, a second candle on the second night, 2, 3, 4, until they're burning, until they have 8 lights of the menorah burning on the 8 nights. That is above and beyond what the letter of the law requires. And also, it says that you could do that for the entire household. As we see, many households who have more than one person living in them have a custom that each person lights their own menorah, kids, teenagers, and so on. So this is called Mahadran min HaMahadran, above and beyond, the choicest way, the nicest way to do the mitzvah with the most beauty is not only to have each person light their own, but to begin with one and continue adding each night until we get to 8 lights. Now, the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch does caution that we should have each person placing their menorah a little bit apart one from the other, so you can tell how many lights there are. The menorah should also not be lit in a place where you light candles all year, to make it very clear that these are in fact the Hanukkah lights. Okay, so we'll continue talking about the mitzvahs of lighting tomorrow. I do just want to draw your attention to a program that's happening on Zoom tonight. Our friends and my dear colleague, the rabbi of the Jewish Center in the Upper West Side of Manhattan, invited us to participate in a program this evening by Zoom. It's about racism. We have been trying to engage that topic a little bit more in our conversations this year. We had a conversation over the summer, and we'll have some more in the course of the year, a conversation about racism in our society, our world. Many of us come to the conversation with a range of experiences and insights and perspectives. So tonight will be sort of a observer status of the program. We're going to hear a very interesting speaker who was a chief of police, eventually became a chief of police in New Haven, Connecticut, I believe. And looking ahead, we will have some more conversations among ourselves to continue those very interesting ones that we started over the summer. So please take a look in your email. Either, I believe one went out today, and if not, from last Shabbos' bulletin, you'll find some information of how to pre-register for that program. You do have to pre-register and let them know that you're coming to the Zoom. That's how they're letting people in, so make sure you sign up ahead of time if you haven't already. And it'll give you the information about where to go online tonight to see that program. So please, I encourage you to join me at that program, join me virtually at that virtual program where everything's virtual these days, right? Anyway, see you there or see you soon after. In the meantime, have a wonderful day.